Cronin Toyota and Cronin Nissan are honored to partner with Proudly We Served, as well as the continued support of our local active and retired military veterans across eastern Indiana.
I'm Al Bledsoe, Veterans of Foreign War, Post 1108.
I'm Ron Chappell, Chaplain for Vietnam Veterans Association 777, and co-host here with Al. Our guest this morning is Jim Dykes from Parks Department, and Ron Weadick, who is our Super Veteran Service Officer.
Okay, so let's get started. I want to make a little bit of announcement about Indiana Department of Workforce Development. Their event is October the 19th from 1 to 5 at the First Bank Building. That's on the Wayne County Fairgrounds. That's an employment service that he provides 1 to 5, October the 19th, shortly.
Okay.
And from that, we'll go to
Yeah.
Ron Weadick and tell us when the parade started and all this stuff.
Oh boy. Probably back in 2007, I think it was. We had a Veterans Council, Wayne County Veterans Council. Mm-hmm. We were always looking for ways to promote veterans and things we wanted to do. And one day in a meeting, I said I would like to have a Veterans Parade. So as that usually happens, I said, okay, you're in charge, let's do it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we started back in 2007. We had back then Jimmy Johnson, Joe Goebel, some of the folks that used to be very active in the Wayne County Veterans Council, Ron Hill. We all got together and decided how we would do that, and been going ever since.
Jim, when did you get started with it? You've been doing it since I've known you.
Yeah, I believe the park department kind of came on board about 6 years ago,
Yeah,
5-6 years
that.
ago,
Yeah.
to help out, and we've really enjoyed being a part of it.
I think that's been a big asset, don't you? I mean,
Oh, yeah.
it takes a lot of, because basically Ron was in charge of the whole thing, of scheduling it and making sure we get all the markers up for people that's going to be in the event.
Yeah.
So behind the scenes, I don't think people really know, nor maybe they appreciate the fact of the work that really gets done to call this parade off.
I remember when the Parks Department came on board, and
Sure, I remember too.
you, I don't know who called you. Somebody called you. or
Keith.
something, and I said, "Well, what are we going to do? Can they do that?" He said, "They said we're going to do it." I said, "Okay." Yeah.
So with the parade, let's talk, Jim, a little bit about the time and what we've got to do to make all that
Okay.
happen. So,
Well, it's on Saturday, November the 11th.
okay.
The parade will start at 9 a.m.
Okay.
We'll start lining up at 7:30. We ask for all those participants to come in off of Peacock Road onto Northwest 8th, and we'll start lining them up along 8th Street there. 9 a.m. it'll kick off and head east on West Main Street down to 1st Street. It'll end there at First, where it goes down into the Veterans Park.
That's where we kind of dove into Veterans Park, and it's kind of unusual a little bit that we're having the parade on Saturday, and Veterans Day is on Saturday. So all of that has to happen pretty much right on a timely basis. So the parade usually will last an hour, maybe, you think, an hour and a half?
Hour, just a little over an hour,
depending
possibly.
on how many entries. How many entries do we have now? Do we know?
Well, we don't have very many yet,
yeah.
but that's not unusual from years past. I think people wait to see a lot of things like the weather and
Sure.
different things before they jump on board. I know last year there was 60 units in the parade, so we're hoping to equal that, if not top it this year.
Yeah.
Especially since it's on Veterans Day on November 11th, and it ends down there, and
Sure.
you go right on down for your ceremony
Sure.
at 11 a.m.
I think that'd be a good thing. I mean, I don't remember what year we had. One year didn't we have 100 entries?
And, you know,
am I thinking right?
We say we have 60 entries.
Yeah.
That may be like the Model T Club is
Yeah.
an entry.
Yeah.
The Model T Club may have 10 cars
10,
in there.
10 cars, right, exactly.
So, yeah,
Good point,
saying that we have 60 entries doesn't mean we only have 60 people in the parade.
Yeah.
We'll probably approach 100.
Yeah, I would think so.
Actual people and floats and so forth in the parade. I know we first started, I think I looked back last night, 2007, we had like 28 entries.
Wow.
So it has grown over the years, and a lot of people want to be in it, and that's good. That's great.
I kind of like it with the west side part of it lining up the way we do on the west side, better than we did that 13th and 14th business. And it kind of gets the job done, but it's kind of don't string it out too much, you might say.
And bring
So,
something to the west side of town also.
Sure.
So
Yeah,
we'll-
and it does something to build up the west side, I
That's
think.
over in my neighborhood. So we're going to go down Main Street? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Right down West Main Street.
All right.
Yeah, obviously with all the improvements and everything's going on in Richmond, Indiana right now, the streets are being worked on, and it's a little tough to get it set up to go down Main Street
Sure.
with all the construction. So now we moved it this time. We have had it in the past in the Depot District.
Yeah,
I can't
remember
remember
that.
1 or 2 years
Yeah, there
we
was.
had it down
Yeah,
there.
I remember that.
That was our 10th year, I remember. The first year we had it in Depot District was our 10th year for the parade. Same thing, we had construction going on. And we missed 1, maybe 2 years during COVID. This year I kind of like having it down Main Street myself. I always liked involving the downtown area, but it's Saturday and a lot of stores are closed anyway. So we'll be going from right there at the intersection of Holy Family Church down to the
Straight to the park.
Straight
to the park.
down.
Yeah, to me, that's more feasible than all that stuff we had going on at 13th Street and all that stuff. But
Well, I tell you, the problem with that is we had 2 state highways we had to cross. 27 north, 27 south. It was more of a chore for the police department to
Yeah.
handle that and get the traffic handled. So, yeah, it's very convenient
So-
the way we do it.
if we're going to have somebody to enter the parade, what's the procedure? What do they need to do with all that? So,
Well, they can contact the park office
okay,
at 983 Park, or they can go to our website, and there's the form on there that they can fill in and register their float or whatever they're bringing. Or you can also go to our Facebook page. It's available there also. So there's several opportunities for people that's interested to do one of those 3 and get in the parade.
Are there, what are there, or if there are any restrictions for people who want to participate?
All we ask is that the participants honor and commemorate the contribution of the veterans and a patriotic theme. That's what we'd like to have.
We may also have some printed applications at the veteran service organizations, at American Legion and the VFW, so stop by there if it's more convenient, pick up a paper application.
yeah, there's actually an application that you can fill out. That's what they're referring to there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I remember that now. So, well, it looks like to me that the Parks Department's done a pretty good job after
Yeah,
they
they have.
took it over and organized it.
We try.
Yeah,
They really
well, I
have.
think you've done a good job. I mean,
Thank you.
I think it's really again, I'm going to say behind the scenes, people don't realize what goes on with the work to coordinate all that stuff and make sure that everything's lined up correctly and the entries are recorded and all that stuff. So, to me, that's just a big service.
And no chagrin to the prior people who organized it, just that they didn't have the resources.
Yeah, the park has
make it
more
happen.
at
Park-
that
park,
they can.
yeah.
Well, no, that it was organized, but it was just cumbersome when it was on that 13th, 14th, like he said, crossing a couple of different highways, making sure all that traffic flowed the way that it should.
There's still some members of the group that still helps us, Ron
Yeah.
here. Dave
He's been at
Friedenberg.
it.
Yeah.
He's been at it since the beginning,
right,
so he
so
knows all of
they're
his
still
trials and efforts. So.
And Dave too, yeah, I forgot to mention Dave. He's been with us since day one and helps us line up
Friedenberg.
every year.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
The Parks Department will have a viewing stand.
Yeah, there'll be a viewing stand down by Bader Mechanical. If somebody wants to sit down there and watch.
I assume we'll have an announcer there
Yeah, should be.
this year
Yeah,
also.
Getting that,
Yep,
Yeah.
yep, yep.
getting that lined up.
Okay.
The radio station still does that? Is
Yeah,
that
we're
what you're
looking
planning
at
on?
the
Yeah.
radio station again.
That's great.
Yeah, the Parks Department's been a real asset. Of course, they have access and communication with all the different city organizations that we have to deal with. And
Sure.
I was reminiscing with Jim. We've been through 3 different traffic captains since we started this.
Yeah.
Kevin Wampler and then Donnie Benedict did
Yep.
it for years, and now Kevin Smith is the new traffic captain. So we deal with them. The street department is always there to help us with
Sure.
barricades and so forth. And yeah, everybody pitches in to make it a successful parade.
Good
Yeah, I think the
cooperation.
city's done a reasonable job helping us, like you said, with the street department, the police department. Certainly, that's important.
Yeah.
What Donnie Benedict did for years,
Years.
that I can remember, and so all of that's important to make all of that come off and really come off as a good parade.
Smooth.
Huh?
Smooth.
Yeah. It's also good for veterans, I think. The parade itself, for some of the
It
guys
is.
that want to
It
get
is.
their Jeeps involved in it, or we always have a few from the Marine Corps League with their motorcycles revved up. I don't know if they'll show up this year or not.
It's good for veterans. I mean, just to see, the folks, the people that have a similar experience. Veterans.
Sure. Yeah, I think so.
It's encouraging
Yeah,
to
it
me,
is.
to see that group.
Yeah.
And I don't know, sometimes it can bring you to tears. It can, because it brings back memories, associations and all that.
Have we decided who the Grand Marshal is going to be yet? Have you?
Yes,
George Marinakis.
George Marinakis.
Okay, George is going to do it then. Okay,
Yep,
good.
yep.
I was hoping that he would do it, but the meeting that was going to be talked about, I had to be gone. So, well, that's good.
Yeah, I think he's excited about doing it.
Yeah,
I think
I
so,
saw him
too.
the other day. In fact, he
Yeah.
did some work for me the other day, and he acted really excited about doing that. He's been involved for how long? 70 years. The Honor Guard, we had a little thing for him. That's just kind of a sidebar what we're talking about, but we had the Honor Guard went over to honor him for 70 years.
70-year
70,
member of the American
70.
Legion.
American
Yep.
Legion.
Wow.
So, well, he's
70
seen some
years. Wow.
changes and everything. And that's another thing that we want to bring up, that the service organizations, American Legion Post 65, certainly Post 315, the VFW Post 1108, Marine Corps League, the DAV, all of those people should hopefully get involved in the parade in some way, shape, or form. So,
Yeah, it'll be a busy day after we get from the parade. Then we'll go down for the ceremonies at the
Yeah.
park. We always have our traditional Veterans Day ceremonies at the 11th hour, 11th day of the 11th month,
correct.
honoring Armistice Day. And then after that, some of the service organizations will have a dinner for veterans, American
That's
Legion
good.
and the VFW.
That's
So.
the
Yeah.
good part. That's the good part.
Yep.
Get that food.
Well, I think it's a good day for I'm hoping that the weather turns out to be good. We never know what that's going to be. We've seen some pretty hectic ones. I have, since as long as I've been involved, which you've seen it all from.
Yeah, we've never had to do it in pouring down rain, knock
Yeah.
on wood, but we have had some very cold days.
Yeah.
And people showed up. And it was,
I think the last time I can remember it, before the COVID thing hit, it was so cold that you couldn't hardly
Yeah.
And
stand
windy.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
and when it seemed to me it was down in the Depot district.
Yep.
Is that right? Yeah, yeah. I was just trying to remember that it was so cold that you couldn't. It was just horrible. So,
I think the general community likes that, appreciates it, because I hear all the time there's not enough going on in Richmond that's positive and uplifting. So something like this, I think people like it. They like it.
and that's worth mentioning, and I hope this show helps to get it out to people who might be interested in coming and being spectators,
Exactly.
We don't have much trouble getting people to participate in the parade. We sure like to have a lot more people come out to see us. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I said, we have a viewing stand, or you can stand anywhere along Main Street. Be glad to have you.
Yeah.
well, maybe when it gets closer to that date, the radio stations can step it up a little bit and help us with all that messaging, because
Get the word out.
that's really, boy, you live and die by messaging when you have an event like that. So,
Some
And I
people
know
might-
we'll be putting it out on our Facebook page.
sure.
So,
And some people may be encouraged to get into it. There are a lot of military folk who just aren't doing anything in the community. I run into them all the time and tell them about the VFW and what we're doing and that kind of stuff, and try to encourage them. And something like this, I think, helps to encourage them, to get involved.
And we'll try to reach out and get as many military-style vehicles as we can. It's always interesting to get those folks involved. We've had people come from Eaton to bring their trucks up, and we have in the past had the National Guard. We'll try to reach out to them this year, see if we can get them to come out. Our service organizations
Yeah.
will all be there to represent their particular branch.
Yeah, I'm there with my grandson. See that guy right there? He's carrying an M1.
Yeah.
I had one of those things. Yeah, that was the heaviest thing.
Yeah.
Like carrying a cannon, man. Oh boy.
Well, I think it does well for the community if we can get it out, and the more we can get it out, the better it is. So, and we never know how much impact we're going to have. It's just like this show. We don't know how impactful it is, and somebody will call me and let me know that something's going on. So, hopefully that'll serve itself well. So.
Yeah.
I have had one of the local schools reached out to me so far, so we'll try to get a band involved. That's always nice.
I thought one year we had Richmond and Centerville. It seemed to me like, didn't we? Did we have them both?
I think one year they combined
Yeah.
the combined band with all the local schools,
Yep.
area
Called
schools.
it
Well,
called it
hopefully
the Wayne
Centerville.
County
Yeah.
Combined Band.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, okay, I remember that.
Yep.
Yeah, if we could just do that, because people nowadays, they just they want something to do, but when you have an event, sometimes they just don't want to come to it. It's just,
Yeah, well,
it's an effort to get up and
you gotta get
go.
the word out.
Huh?
Gotta get the word out.
Oh, I think so. The messaging's everything. So.
Be attracted to it. Yeah. I think people want to support veterans. But I mean, there's a heart compelling desire to do what you can to support the veterans for what they do. And man, I can't do much, but I can go and watch this parade.
Yeah.
And I can yell, hey, with my hand.
And I think a lot of the participants look forward to it throughout the year. I have people approach me and say, "When's the parade going to be this year?" So, yeah.
Yep. So that's good. Well, it's exciting. to know that it's getting ready to happen. And we just gotta stay alert. And, anything that comes up that we can add to it, and that's maybe something that we should say is anybody, if you know of something, an organization, a person, or whatever that you think would work well with the parade, get a hold of them and let them know.
And we might have the community watch too for other veterans things that we have going on during the year. We always have Memorial Day ceremonies at Earlham Field of Honor, plus Soldiers Field there at Soldiers Hill and Earlham Cemetery, plus our Memorial Day ceremony down at the park. We have POW MIA Day down at the park. Another thing, the city has supported us all along with the Veterans Memorial Park and done a real nice job adding
Magnificent. I'm telling you.
the Cardinal Greenway comes right down through the park there. It's really nice what they've done there, and adding the restrooms when you talk about the Parks Department and how they've supported our Veterans Memorial Park down there.
They have.
And then all the rest of that pretty much has been done by veterans.
Yeah.
All
And the park
money-
always looks nice. You know, it's
I
always.
tell you what, for the community our size, my son who lives in Detroit, he's a veteran. I took him down to Veterans Park. He said, "Gee, where is that?" He said, "We don't have nothing like that in there. You know, we got a statue with a plaque on it."
Yeah, I think it's very impressive for a community our size to have something that nice.
Yeah.
There again, Joe Goebel and Ron Hill and Gary Franklin and
Some of the old guys.
yeah,
The old
guys who
guard.
have supported that and done all the work over the years. And,
Older guys.
we're looking for young guys to get involved.
We don't go there. But it's such a, it's really a good thing that we have the parade the way we do it at ends in Veterans Park. I think that's just really a good way to do it. And it kind of shows off the park if we get any, visitors that are in. We had some visitors at POWMIA Day from Greenfield. Is that right? They were from Greenfield. And the guy said that they just couldn't believe what we had in Wayne County. He said, "Man, life, you need to broadcast more what you've got here." But
That's it.
yeah,
'Cause a lot of people think they can't go down there because it's a Veterans Park.
No, it's
And,
open.
I've had that comment made to me.
well, and then when they came, I think they were pleasingly surprised at what we've really got there with all the monuments. I mean, it's just really done a good job over the years. So
I had family come in from California back in the summer, and we went down there and had a picnic, and
Yeah.
I went down because I wanted to show it off to them.
Sure.
And they were really impressed.
Yeah.
You know, the tanks and,
Yeah.
and the helicopter and
Yeah.
the plane.
yeah.
You know, they don't have anything like that in
No.
California.
Yeah.
So,
They don't have a park in California.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, it just shows the attitude of the people here. You know, they really love and appreciate veterans, and I don't know. To me, I think that's a great thing. I think it's a great thing.
I think if we can just, the key to it, I think, is getting the younger guys involved.
That's
and guys that's willing to take his
Yeah.
place when he steps aside. Things like that.
Anytime.
Yeah. Well, I mean, those things
Yeah,
are all important,
absolutely.
and you have to have somebody that's in place. I mean, if we really care about the legacy of the park and everything that's going on there, we've got to find people that are willing to take over and willing to do things like that. And it's all volunteer. You know, those are not, they're not paid. I mean, that's the way it is. So, and the younger ones, that's the problem is the commitment, because it is a commitment. When you look at the time involved, how much time do you give other than your normal hours at work? Do you give? And same way with Jim. I mean, how many hours do you give just to make sure something works, just to make sure a parade comes off the way that it should? All that stuff's important. Yeah.
We got about 4 minutes.
Okay, so
let's give the
We
time.
need to go
date,
back
and
through
all that.
everything. Sure.
Well,
We're
once
coming to the
again,
end.
anyone interested in participating in the parade can do so by contacting the park office at 983 Park, or go to our website, which is all lowercase, parks.richmond, Indiana, all spelled out, .gov, and our Facebook page where you can find all the forms to sign up and register to be a part of this parade on Saturday, November 11th.
All right.
November 11th at 9 a.m.
AM.
7:30 if you're going to be in the parade.
And if we're going to be in the parade 7:30, but the parade is
Lining up.
basically 9 o'clock, and we'll march down to Veterans Park, and that's where the ceremony will begin at 11 o'clock on Saturday. So with that
All
being
right.
said,
Yeah,
thanks
we
both
gotta
of you
check
guys
out.
for coming
Thanks
today.
for having us.
Yes,
And hopefully we
appreciate it.
got this message out a little bit this morning. We never know. So.
Yeah. So we thank you, folks. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
watching. Proudly we serve.
Cronin Toyota and Cronin Nissan are honored to partner with Proudly We Served, as well as the continued support of our local active and retired military veterans across eastern Indiana.